It's so frustrating to see that. Why do we have to reach this level to do something that's so obvious? You know, to fund education. It's so obvious. It's not really an argument, right? You know, how do you argue against that? But you know, what measures have to be taken place to get somebody else to do their job, to have a value system, and where do we value education? I think it's important to realize the social capital, and the social capital gets drained. If you had a passion for teaching before, it gets drained. The life gets sucked out of you. And so,
what's up to all my teachers out there? I just want to say, from one teacher to another, thank you for all your hard work that you put in educating the future of our country, our kids. And today I'm so excited about the new chapter that we're starting today here at The Journey. It's called The Decision. So tune in, close friend of mine, Chris McNeil, and I hope you guys enjoy. What's up, y'all? This is Tyron here at The Journey, and hope y'all caught the last video of me and my two boys, former players of mine, talking about the teacher walkout. And today, I have a really good friend of mine, Chris McNeil.
what's going on?
Obviously, in our state, in Oklahoma right now.
Yeah.
My wife is a full-time teacher. She's in her 6th year of teaching. I've taught, right, in education.
Thank you, guys.
You went to the schools and actually created an opportunity for kids to actually start a journey in the fitness world, right? Your mom was a former teacher, retired teacher now.
Right.
So
still in the school.
Still in the school. So how do you feel? What's your take on the teacher walkout? I mean, there's so many angles to look at it, right? And you know the two young men that you know Freddie and Daryl, right?
Yeah.
So
I know them now.
You know them now. You didn't know them.
Right.
But yeah, you come up to the practices before and met them before. So what's your take on the teacher walkout?
Man, I know it's so frustrating to see that. Why do we have to reach this level to do something that's so obvious? You know, to fund education. It's so obvious. It's not really an argument, right? You know, how do you argue against that? But you know, what measures have to be taken place to get somebody else to do their job, to have a value system, and where do we value education and all this? None of us would be here without education. Right. And so not only just, you know, what you learn from in class too, but actually how you meet people and how you learn to interact and how you learn to grow. And it all stems back from school.
So what school have you went into that you've done some fitness things with? It's McLean, right?
McLean currently, and I've done things with Union as well.
Okay, that's very interesting, right? So you have McLean, and then you have Union. So in Oklahoma and Tulsa, most of y'all know this, right? McLean is on the north side, which some people will I call it the hood, okay? Some people might call it the urban community, right? Urban.
Okay.
But you have Union, which is south side, in the South Tulsa, which is we would call the suburban, right, area. Being in both those schools, what is the difference in terms of what resources they need?
Oh man. It's,
Hey Journey family, if you haven't got a chance yet, check out my previous chapters, the intro, Arthur Graham, the call part 1 with myself, the call part 2 with my beautiful wife Ashley Hall, and the call part 3 with a great friend of mine, Paul Collins. Now I'm going to do something new going forward, and it's called Share Your Journey. That's right, share your story. Share your path to where you're at and where you came from, and then also where you plan to head. You can email me at nextlevel025@gmail.com. Email me, give us a brief rundown of, you know, like I said, where you're at, where you've been, and where you're headed. And we'll get back with you. And I'd love to have you on the show to inspire others with your story, with your journey, right?
You know, it's very funny to me because it's almost like you look at you look at a Twix versus a Snickers, right? And you see, okay, one's brown, one's black. I open this up and I expect to get chocolate. I open this up and I expect there's going to be some caramel and the wafer. Right. But you open it up and it's the same candy bar. You know, they look very different on the outside, but you open them up and it's the same thing. So in terms of the schools, you know, Union from the outside in, and they have tons and tons of resources. And why? They not only have access to those things, but they educate their public on how to vote. So that way the money can flow back into the school, you know, which is great. And it's an excellent plan. TPS is a totally different ball because there's so many different schools and it's so hard to manage all that. And a lot of times if there's a decision that is counterproductive or it just kind of impacts the society in a poor way, McLean gets the brunt of that. And the North Side in general gets a lot of the backlash. Wow. So what you see is essentially all those decisions coming out to on the outside of the school, but on the inside, it's the same kid. The kids have the same problems. The same needs. They might wear different colors. They got the same issues.
Right. They need to be educated. They need to be. They need the resources that they need to grow and for the teachers to do what they need to do. Some say, you know, I've heard some say this, and there's been times I felt like this as a teacher in times past before now. That what is it to complain about? The schedule. You get weekends off.
In terms of being a teacher?
Yes, you get weekends off. You get, you know, about 12 weeks off in a year. What is there to really complain about?
I can give you a couple things.
All right, come on, McNeil. The son of a teacher. Listen.
Imagine what it's like to try to control, you know, we don't control, but your spouse. It's difficult. There's a relationship, there's give, there's take, there's instruction, there's listening. You know, there's all those different dynamics that go into it. And if there's emotions involved, then the relationship gets all out of whack. You know, just in terms of I was upset or I stubbed my toe.
This selfish.
Right. So now you take that and you multiply your one situation times 30. 30 different relationships that are all in Y.
You're referring to teacher with 30 students in the classroom. Right.
Okay. And not only the students, but also your coworkers, you know, in any place of work. I think it's important to realize the social capital. And the social capital gets drained. If you had a passion for teaching before, it gets drained. The life gets sucked out of you. And so, especially, you know, going back to the Union versus McLean thing, I think, you have a difference in resources, but what's most important between the distinction between the two schools, because if you were to put something that's really nice or really expensive in McLean, I think it would still be underutilized. I think it's essentially connecting how to use or how to utilize the resource. If the social capital is not there, if people don't believe in the system, if people don't essentially take pride in each other, then you still have burnout.
That's deep. So it's not about just giving a resource, but showing how to use the resource.
Right.
Now, I want to remind you, I am a trainer at the Y, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 5:45 a.m. and also Saturdays at 10 a.m. at the Hutchinson YMCA in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you're interested in some fight training, definitely holler at my man Paul Collins out there at Team Impact in the Broken Arrow area on Main Street. Now, we have something coming up soon that we want to present to you. Me and Paul. It's called Hall and Paul TV. We will be covering numerous topics: sports, current events, business, fitness, right? Also some comedic things too, because you know, life is nothing without some healthy humor, right? And so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah. So in that case, you have the teacher who's going in and pouring into the school, but you have the school who can pour back into the teacher. You got your students with the parental support. You got kids getting picked up on time. You got, you know, paper when you need it. Your email actually works. You know, all those different things that are small, but they add up to, I love my job. I love what I do, and I get the support. You know, whereas in a place that maybe there's something a little awry, or you don't get along with your coworker, the kids don't get picked up because, you know, a lot of the area can't afford car insurance. So, you know, people come to work late.
So what you're saying is, you're saying that education, the struggle in education to a degree, is connected to the struggle in
managing
society.
Yeah, managing the relationships.
Managing the society, like you said, the social aspect. So you're not just talking about within the school. You're talking about the community, the environment in which the school is at.
Right. I mean, we'll use this as an example in a hospital, for instance.
Okay.
And this is from what I've seen as
Dr. McNeil. Here we go.
Student doc. You have now what some doctors would portray as interdisciplinary teams. You have one patient with one problem. Maybe multiple problems, but essentially they're sick, and there's a lot of comorbidities with that. But you have a nurse, you have the physician, you have a nutritionist, you have different types of specialties that work with the patient, and in some cases, like at the Cancer Treatment Center, they might all be in the same room, empowering this one person, this patient that came in with this problem. In the school, it's the opposite way around. You have 30 patients with 30 different problems each.
Wow. And
you have one person who's supposed to come in and solve all that.
Counselor, teacher, parent.
Where you need and you need your parents, you need your principals, you need your staff, you need all hands on deck to bring up the youth. And so if there's any disconnect in that, we got issues. So I think schools that do things really well are the ones who are able to draw in the community.
To build from the community and impact the community.
Right.
As a whole, the whole it takes a village thing, right?
Right.
Actually training the village, showing the village, and then us together, the community and the teachers, the staff, school staff, together. And along with the churches, obviously, too. So
definitely. You
know what I'm saying? So
we won't talk about them, but
we
definitely utilize them.
We're gonna definitely get into that. But this dude is definitely been doing this thing as far as fitness, but not only just fitness. What else you've been doing? So you're in medical school right now,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
And he just had a newborn son. Well, how old is your son now?
He's 1
years old. So father, doctor, or if you're finna be a doctor.
It'll be a minute.
On his way. Be a minute, but he's on the journey, right?
That's right.
And then you have, and then you said you're a mentor. I remember you talked about being a mentor. So what have you done? Like, what is your thing about being in the community? Because I know that's one of the things we met on the basis of is doing things within the urban community that I was a mentor in, and at the Dream Center. So, I mean, what is it that you do in the community? What do you want to do?
Okay. I'm definitely interested in creating jobs and allowing students essentially to have a way to empower themselves economically.
Right.
So whether that be finding out what you want to do in life, making sure you have people in your life that are asking you, what do you want to do in life, and kind of working out that plan.
Right.
And in addition, just kind of weaving through the ins and outs of how money works. And not just essentially that it's green and it helps you buy stuff, but how to use things as an asset.
This man is the one who really, at this point in my life, this season of my life, really got me back into the fitness arena. Met him doing some training with another friend of mine. What was it, like December? Or no, actually it was before December. It was like,
and it was cold.
Yeah, it was cold outside for sure. It was cold, man. But he had me go out to a fitness training, and get some certifications, and that's how I ended up at the Y. And so how money works, that's really big, because as you know, we've always had conversations, but and as most of y'all know, my journey is I'm kind of the guinea pig, I guess you can say, for most of y'all out there. But I left the full-time work, as most of us know it, the 9 to 5, right? The rat race, baby. I left the 9 to 5, right? And y'all know most of my story if you've been following the intro and the call, but there was more, I feel like there was in me than just doing it that way. And so I'm out here, and a lot of opportunities have popped up for me, even within the fitness arena. A lot of things have popped up. I'm not only just leading class on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays at the Hutchinson, but I'm also heading up right now a boot camp class at the downtown line. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then also now starting today actually a fitness class for kids on Tuesdays at the Tandy Y. So it's really opened up, and I feel like personally I don't think that would have opened up had I not made that step, probably, to just give that focus. And so I'm kind of the guinea pig right now for you. Like I said, y'all watching it in real time. This is not something that I've done. This is something I'm doing in real time. And so, but we're here to talk about Chris's journey in terms of him going to medical school, and like what made him want to do that. I mean, do you come from a family, a medical family? I mean, I remember you said your dad is a physician assistant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yes,
so.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, as I talk to my dad more and as I've grown up, I noticed that he made a lot of the same decisions that I went through. So
right.
His initial idea or passion was for teaching. And then it was kind of funny because...
Teaching...
like physical education.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he wanted to teach kids and coach.
Oh.
And I think he was telling me he ran into a situation in which a kid had dropped the M-bomb on him, and he's like, this ain't for me.
Oh, man. This ain't made for me. I ain't made for the kids, man. That's not this,
Right, yeah. He didn't want to act on that, so instead he decided to go a different route.
Okay.
And so the military opened up. Initially, he really enjoyed physical therapy, but for some strange reason, he really just understood the testing parameters better for a PA rather than the physical therapist.
Right.
So it was easier for him to get in school.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he followed that route, and essentially, when you get a chance to go to work with your parents' day, took full advantage of that. And it was essentially seeing my dad. I saw the white coat. I didn't see the title, and I saw that, and I saw the way that the soldiers responded to him when he came in. He didn't even say anything.
With the white coat on?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
And, there was just a sigh of relief. These dudes have been out in the field, out in the sticks, laying myself.
See this guy, he can fix me or make me better. Okay.
He just brought hope and ease.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who doesn't want to walk in a room and be welcome?
Yeah.
And
I think I'm gonna give me a white coat, man. I think I'm gonna give me a lab coat when I walk in and doctor in the house.
Right. It ain't good in different types of weather, but it does something to people.
So he brought hope. They felt like he could. Obviously, they were getting injured and everything. So it's like, man, this dude he's the answer to what I need. And now he wasn't necessarily a doctor at that time, or was he just? He
was a PA, but for the soldiers, he was a medic.
Oh.
So he came in and whatever ailment that they had, he was a first responder. It was more than just tape and we gonna make it through this. He was actually bringing whether it be medication or for a lot of the guys, the issue was constipation, so you bring enemas.
Oh.
So suppository, it doesn't go in the front, it goes in the back.
It comes on out, where it's gonna come out,
Right. But it came with a whole lot of relief. Guys have been stopped up in the field for 2 or 3 weeks, and then my dad brings some hope with that, and these guys, hey man, thank you so much, and so just seeing it as a kid, I didn't necessarily know everything that was going on, but this really resonated with me.
You're a military kid, and obviously y'all travel a lot. And I have a friend who, same thing. In fact, he was born in Germany. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, I know you travel a lot, and some people get older and say how, man, that's just really unstable, right? And moving place to place. But you gave a different angle from it. You said what you've learned from your family with the traveling from place to place is that y'all are a family of God, I think, and then you also said a family that's always on the move, right? And I thought that was really a highlight for me because you took that as something great. Yeah. Like we're on the move, and I think in life you got to be on the move, right? I mean that's how growth happens. That's how you evolve. But you said y'all were go-getters because your sister is she a PA or she's
working to be a nurse practitioner.
A nurse practitioner. Okay. And this you said before 2020.
Yes. So she should be done. Now I don't know her plan exact because she's working at the same time that she's in school.
He's claiming that thing. He said it's gonna be about 2020.
Right. Yeah. So she's well on her way, and I mean she has like every degree under the sun in terms of nursing. So I'm super proud of her.
Wow.
She's definitely kind of lighting the path for me. So that way I can do my thing.
So y'all are go-getters. I like that because, I mean, do you feel like, how is supposed to go get it if, they're in a 9-to-5 job, they have a passion in them to go to be something that's not necessarily what their 9-to-5 work is.
Right.
And maybe they don't have the time to go after that. And if they're gonna go after their passion, they're gonna have to just totally leave. I mean, how does a person do that? I mean, because you're thinking about finances. I mean, that's one thing that was on my mind. Is like, man, how am I gonna pay, bills and everything? So, I mean, what's your take on that?
Man, honestly, you're wherever your heart is, where your passion is where your mind's gonna be as well.
Right, your attention.
Exactly.
Right,
so,
right.
If your passion is not at your work, then where is it? And how do you go find it? I think one of the biggest things that you always have to do is just have that quiet time to reflect and figure out, what am I doing and what's the why? And, if you can align with what's the why, you tend to find out people who also share your why. And for me, that was the biggest part.
Yeah.
A lot of my family, in the sense of being go-getters, are opportunists. And so one of us is talking about business. We all go learn about business. You talked about that. I'm going to go read about stocks, or I'm going to ask so-and-so about it. Or so-and-so is talking at work. And so you find those different networks and niches that you can essentially educate yourself on. Not everybody's like that, but essentially we all reach that point to where it's like enough is enough.
Enough is enough. It's funny because this actually, we've talked about the intro, right? We've talked about the call, which we've had a whole, 4 parts to the call, 3 parts really. And then now we're to the point of this chapter, which is the decision, right? So for me, I entered this thing, and because there's a call, I felt like my passions were calling me out, like, come after me,
Yeah.
So then there's a decision that has to be made, right? And so the decision, right? How pivotal is the decision? And then what decision is to be made, and how hard is that decision?
Right.
I know there's I hit you with 3, pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to have to close the door for that. What decision has to be made? First thing you got to do is just put all the information in one place. So you can make pros, you can make cons, you can just kind of figure out, okay, I got to simplify things to left or right.
Write it out, think it out, write your thoughts out.
Right, okay. So you can make it simple. So you can make it black and white for you.
Right.
And obviously no decision is black and white, but you have to make it that simple. So in that case, it comes to research, okay? I got to know what my future holds. I want $1 million. How are you going to get there? Okay. What am I going to do with $1 million? Okay. Is this decision important for me to make the $1 million? What would I need to do next? And in order for that, you need a plan. Not only a day-to-day plan, but also, 5 years from now.
Right.
Right.
And that's one thing I didn't have, to be honest with you, man. One of the first things my wife asked when we started, getting more serious with dating and stuff like that, she said, do you have a 5-year plan? It's like, man, I ain't never heard of such a thing. What you mean a 5-year plan? I'm trying to just get through the next 5 days. You know what I'm saying? I get paid in 5 days, so it's just, I'm looking at paycheck to paycheck, right? And so when you put the 5-year plan on, or at least what are the steps forward, what is your plan, what's your goal, where you want to be at in the 5 years, it makes you have to think out there and think bigger than just the moment, right? Right. And then zone into from way out there to the moment. And so that was a big time question for me. I was like, man, 5-year plan, I ain't never heard of that.
Right. A lot of us have it.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't even until I started reading books, and then it was like, okay, somebody might ask me this, and I'm gonna have to know what that means.
Right. Now you said too, it's very interesting. You said silent time. Because me and a friend earlier today were just talking, and we were talking about this importance of silent time, right? Driving without the music on, so to speak, right? And I told him, we were talking about how it actually makes you face yourself, right? And also allows you to hear. Now, what are we hearing? What do you think? Do you agree with that? What silent time mean to you?
100%. It's so crazy because to me sometimes I hear my own voice, but I know they're not my words. Whether it be the Holy Spirit or essentially, sometimes I feel like it's my coaches, and it's
nature.
Right. And but I can hear, I can distinctively hear, and what it's saying, whether it be don't do that, or get up or, move or,
right.
It's time, whatever that.
Right. And it's funny, then you find yourself like self talking, right? Like and I told my friend, it's funny, man, this is so on point because my good friend Dave was talking about how, man, I thought something was wrong with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, no, you need to do the self talks.
Right.
As great coaches in sports tell you, you need to do self talks.
Oh yeah.
Talking to yourself throughout the game or throughout the competition that you're in. And so, quiet time. I mean, that's you think that's essential to the journey.
Oh yeah, and I honestly think that for me that's where it started. I had a Coach Guerrero, and he used to tell me, and I thought he was crazy at the time, but I didn't necessarily understand what he meant by it. And he said, I want you to go through your next match in your head. So in terms of wrestling, and I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen from shaking the guy's hand to which leg I'm going to attack to how I'm going to move his body, and going through all those things in my head. It literally made me go and sit outside and
as a wrestler.
Yeah.
So did you ever win like state or any? Did you win like a lot of trophies as far as wrestling or?
Yeah, I won my fair share.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm blessed to take part in that, but
wow.
Now it hurts.
Wrestler, the doctor, the mentor, the husband, the future doctor right here. I mean, this man, and the fitness instructor. I mean, this dude's doing it, man. So the decision is to decide to put it out there.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. Decide to spend some silent time.
Definitely.
Right? And I remember another thing you talked about when you were with your family too, which was the God component, right?
Yes.
And what I wanted to ask you, which I ask everybody that I talk with, is how much of God is a part of the journey that you're on? Maybe he is the part or what? So how much of God is a part of that? Like how much of,
It's so funny and it's so true. He's all of it. I mean, ultimately, he's the end game. And as much as I try to fight that sometimes, because it's easy to kind of in your own ambition. Right. I'm doing this for me, or I'm doing this for my family. It's like that's not necessarily the case. So, ultimately, when we come back to it and making a decision, everything is based on your value system. The goal, the decision itself isn't important or not. And it's based on your value system. Some people want riches. I want to be a millionaire. Well, why? You just want to Scrooge McDuck into a swimming pool of money, or right. Do you want to do it to be a philanthropist? Do you want to do it to take care of your family?
Right. What's the purpose? Right.
Yeah, and that all stems back to your values. So if you don't have your values in line, your plan's gonna be all jacked up. So you won't know step A from step B from step C. All the different things.
And I think that's what the God in your journey does. It brings a certain purpose to what you're doing, right? And then you talk about discipline. What's one thing I remember you talked about too, when you talk about your family and your journey too, is the discipline. That's big. Discipline is like what? How would you define discipline?
Oh man, if
God Chris McNeil, McNeil dictionary defines discipline as
if God is the vision and the heartbeat, the discipline is the blood flow. Because it's not going to move unless I stick to the plan. The heart knows what it's supposed to do. The vision is showing me the way. But if the blood ain't flowing, nothing's going to move. Nothing's going to work. So the discipline has to be every day I'm sticking to the plan. If you set a plan and you veer from it or you get distracted, then the plan is at that point, it's null and void. And you have to go back to either start from the beginning or start, the next step. So I think it's everything.
Thanks for tuning in to The Journey Chapter 2, The Decision. And once again, man, shout out and appreciation to the teachers, the educators out there shaping our future with the kids. You heard it from Chris just now, Chris McNeil, that you need to write out the ideas, right? Spend that silent time. And also add in the God factor into all of this, because he's the one driving us anyway. And last but not least, disciplines, man. It takes disciplines to carry out your journey and finish the path that's before you. And this is the decision here, chapter 2, And see y'all next time. This is Tyron here at The Journey.